When will people realize that throwing insults at someone and being obnoxious is in fact not the way to get people to join your cause? On today's broadcast, we will be looking at the infamous Blossom Brown, known for appearing on Piers Morgan and Jubilee debates, amongst some others, and how Blossom's actions do nothing but hurt the community they are trying to advocate for. Blossom has been an activist for a good number of years, as early as 2015 from what I could find, but Blossom's efforts have been negated due to their own bad behavior. During the Jubilee debate from about a year ago, which was a mess, not even a hot one, Blossom kept bringing up race when it was not mentioned or even the subject about the debate. There's also that one infamous clip that came out of the debate that sparked everywhere online. Blossom also called a man on one of the debate panels privileged, but the man was living with the disease that took away Howard Ashman. I am not quite sure if I can say that word on here, and I found that absolutely disgusting. If going through the pain of having that illness is privileged, as Blossom states, I would just love to know what Blossom's idea of a pauper is then. I've got bodyguards outside, keep it real cute, which comes off as Blossom trying to intimidate the other panel members, and throughout that entire debate, Blossom did not debate. Blossom instead played victim, and it was very infuriating to watch because it felt like the conversation did not go anywhere. Just a few months ago, Blossom appeared in a debate on Piers Morgan Uncensored and was debating Riley Gaines, who was a swimmer alongside the also infamous Leah Thomas. The debate played out much like the Jubilee one, but more unhinged. When asked why men and women were apart in sports, Blossom did not answer the question. Blossom once again brought race into the conversation when it was not needed, calling Morgan a race baiter due to him not believing Meghan Markle in the past. When Gaines mentioned sports having weight classes for fairness, such as in wrestling, Blossom came back with, oh well, what if the lighter person beats the heavier person? That is not a debate point, that is a what if statement. Blossom also mentioned combining the para and regular Olympics when asked a question by Morgan, but combining those events would not be fair either. Para athletes would be at a disadvantage due to them having physical disabilities. That is the whole point of the Para Olympics. And when the debate was not going Blossom's way, Blossom proceeded to call Gaines various names like a middle school. When you are debating somebody and you resort to going after the person, you are not doing a good job in that debate. Now that the backstory is out of the way, I would like to give my thoughts on this very messy situation. Now, there is an old saying spoken by a famous British lady in orange tights that goes, "The world could always use more heroes."
The world could always use more heroes.
And that is true, the world could use more of those. However, I do not believe Blossom is one of those people. I noticed that Blossom had comments turned off on Instagram, and my theory as to why that is most likely due to how unpopular Blossom is, if the YouTube comments are anything to go off of. In every single video I see where Blossom is involved, it's always people talking about Blossom, not the causes that Blossom is trying to push. I said this before in my Lily Tino video from a few weeks ago, and even in my vegan teacher video from about a year ago, but I believe that this point is still important. By insulting people who do not agree with you, by bringing off-topic points like Blossom often does, by overall being very aggressive and just a very pushy person, it turns people off from whatever point you are trying to push, no matter what it is. From this issue to why chocolate ice cream is the best flavor in the world. And due to Blossom's continued presence, Blossom has indirectly become a face of a very big movement, and due to the poor sportsmanship shown in these debates, a lot of people do not look on that movement very kindly. I also did not like how whenever there is pushback, Blossom tries to play the woe is me Olympic. Now, my family, both my Czech and Italian side, left their entire old lives behind in Europe to a new country with new opportunities where they did not speak the language. They were called names, one of which rhymes with mop in the case of my Italian side. My dad got beaten up for speaking Italian. My mom was bullied for being an immigrant, and my nonna was working the very next day she came to Canada because 1, she had 3 kids to feed, and 2, she and all my other grandparents knew that nobody was going to give them anything for free, and they had to work for what they wanted. Never once during all of that did any of my family pull off the woe is me because of XYZ mentality. Everybody has unfortunately gone through something terrible, and instead of doing the us versus them argument that Blossom likes to do in every panel that I have seen, what should be happening is we try to understand each other and come to a middle ground. I think Blossom's debates, or lack thereof, have done damage to this movement, and I think that somebody who is not as emotionally charged or invested should be invited to be on these shows like Jubilee and Piers Morgan. Somebody who is willing to listen to the other side instead of demonizing the other side. I do not think we will ever come to a middle ground on this issue, unfortunately, if we just keep having this us versus them debate. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more of my content, then please subscribe to Sweet Histortea, a channel full of random facts, lots of sparkles, and tons more videos to come in the future. Thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!
There's a part of myself I'm missing. Now I got a lot to